So for the backend, we'll use Jupyter, a Spring Boot generator, and you can see the several options that we are presenting here in the Jupyter tech. You can choose the database, the way of the authentication, you can include language, the front-end framework, like Angular. So to configure the MySQL user, you can go to resources, and for development you have this file, for production the file below, and here are the username and password for your own applications. In POM XML you can also configure later on when you need to update the database. You'll use these configurations. So now we have the application running, the user. You can see the endpoints that already created for the resources. You can see the get, post, authentication. You can see the user and the models that is created with this first start application. Also, you can see the default users, admin, user, and system, and several metrics that are very useful in production to see if everything is running well and with no problems. So we don't have entities yet. We can now start creating more things in the entities. We have the language. We just choose two. We can choose several. So our application can have several languages. For the database, it created these several tables, and you can see here the 3 users that we have seen, and more the anonymous user. To create more entities, we use this editor. So here you see the user that is automatically created. We don't need to include it, so we comment. But just to have an idea what fields the user has, login, first name, last name, and so on. So when we comment, it disappears from the schema. So we will do a simple application with an office, with a department, and with an employee that has some more information than the user. And the employee has jobs, the department has several employees, and the office has several departments. We can also use pagination, infinite scroll, or just pagination, and this will create the endpoints and also the front end according to what we choose. Now we copy the model to a file GDL, and we commit the changes we've made to the POM XML and to development with the username and password of MySQL. So now we are ready, all our entities to be generated. We run this command, jupyter import GDL, and the model GDL. This is the file we created in the root of our application, of our Spring Boot application, and we'll generate all the classes, Java classes for each of the entities, all the resources, and the repositories. So here you see, for example, the department Java class that has also the connection to the database with the name of the column that we will create in the database. It also generated the resource for each entity, where we have the CRUD endpoints, create, read, delete, update and delete, as you can see. And we are almost ready generating also the front-end files in Angular. And we will run the application. And now we can log in. We are already logged in. And we will see now that we have the entities, office, department, employee, and job that we have created. So for example, we can go to office and see the dummy data that the application generated, also for department and also for jobs. So now we can see the endpoints for the department, for the employee, and for the job, and we can also test. JHipster uses Swagger to generate the endpoints, and we can try it. And as you can see, we said that we want pagination, so we can try with a page and with size of the page and sort it. And we have the dummy data coming here in JSON format. Going to MySQL, we can see the employee and all the tables generated. So department, job, and office, with all the fields, the name, street address, post code, city, and so on, that we have defined. So here is the front end Angular interface, where we see how to use the endpoints to accrue the endpoints. For example, to update this user with this name, and the external connections to the user and to the department. Now we see that is the user administrator and the department is virtual. This interface is great for web, but like we want mobile, we will use the Ionic framework and the generator for JHipster. So we will update the generator. And to generate a new app, we can do JHipster Ionic or Ionic 4J. And now we answer with the name of the application and the name of the backend that is in the same directory. Now it's creating all the files to start a new application. As you can see, we have the source of the app, and in the pages we have the entities. Now no entity is generated, so just the general files. And we can test now in the browser using the command ionic serve. You can see more in their site how to build for iOS and how to build for Android. So now testing the login to our backend, we will use the same users we have, now the admin that we have in the backend, and we'll call our backend APIs. We didn't generate yet the entities, so you don't have any entities yet, but we will use the same model that we use in the backend with the same information and so on. So we will call all these endpoints to manage our CRUD entities. To do so, we import the JDL. So we do import .org, that is the name of our backend, and the model JDL, the name that we gave to our JDL. So now all is imported, and you can see that now we have the entities created, the department, job, and so on. And for each one, we have several pages for managing the entities. So we will restart again the testing application. And as you can see, now we have the entities. We have the office, we have the department, and so on. For the office, we can test the creating a new one, and you can test whatever you want to delete and so on. So now it's this is how you can make an app. I hope you enjoy it. Until the next time, where I can explain how to improve this generator also to progressive web app.